What up, folks? What's going on, college football fans, Colorado Buff Nation? What's up, all of my BWBs, my bandwagon buffs, man? I hope y'all are doing well. I hope y'all are having a wonderful day and a wonderful week. Welcome to Tuesday. Happy Tuesday to all of you that are out there. I appreciate you tuning in today and joining me today on TLP Live. For those of you who don't know, welcome to TLP Sports Club. You are watching TLP Live. I am your host, Harry Billion. I go by Harry B. The B means billion. So welcome. Today's show, we're going to talk a little bit about Colorado's chances of entering the combine and how they're going to do. We're going to talk a little bit about that. I'm going to focus a little bit on the Big 12 quarterbacks. All right, we're going to feature Shedeur also, even though he's leaving. But I want to talk about the quarterbacks because a lot of them are going to be staying. So that's going to give us an indication of where, well, you're only really as good as your leader, all right, in college football. So who has the best quarterback in the Big 12? And who's bringing back the best quarterback in the Big 12? We're going to talk about that. All right, so welcome to the show, guys. I'm going to get started right away. You know how this works. Right there on your screen, you'll see jointlplive@gmail.com. If you hear a topic or something I'm talking about, you want to go ahead, I prick your ear, you want to join the show, guys, just email jointlplive@gmail.com, and you can join the show, guys, and, come and add your voice to the conversation. Or you can support and just, you're in the chat or whatever. So there's a lot going on around college football, but I want my how can I phrase this? This is a college football show. It's not a political channel. I do have a political channel. It's called Billionaires Mindset. But there is something that happened this morning that I want to touch on real quick before we get the show started in earnest. And this thing right here. And the reason why I want to talk about this real quick before we get started with the football stuff is because this is affecting a lot of people. So many people. All right. So the White House pauses federal grant loan and other assistance programs. This right here actually affects members of my family. And I got the message. I got a message that that federal loans are going to be getting paused. Now, why does this matter so much? The people that voted for Trump in honest, mostly are, I would say, majority poor whites. This is affecting them. Political commentary or commentary as a whole is the people that are doing the commentary and the people that are in the political YouTube side or anywhere, right? We like to point fingers, right? But I'm a different kind of guy. I'm a different man. I serve a God that is invested in people, and he's not going to allow me to make fun of people and point fingers and me not being convicted, right? So the people that, for the most part, that voted for Trump are poor whites, because white people make up 68 point something and higher percentage of the U.S. economy. If they put Trump into office, then what they're asking you for is, hey, these are the things that you talked about, and we want you to go in there and clean it up. But this is another thing right here. This is something that it's affecting a whole lot of people. Let me put it in perspective real quick. The loans, the federal grants, the loans and assistance programs that you are pausing, you got, bring it down, Harry B, bring it all the way down to earth. Let's take Miss Susan. She's an old white lady. She goes to bingo and she uses the an ambulatory travel vehicle, whatever. And guess who's paying for that? It's a small business that got a grant to be able to provide such services for her, right? So this is how she gets around socially, you know. So then there's other people that have small businesses that are servicing poor people. So the idea of pausing these loans, and this is real. This is not it's not affecting me type of situation. This is really, really real. Okay? Like, my family member called and said, this just paused the loan. So now that's affecting businesses. Like bank accounts. You can't log into your bank account. You cannot go in there and take money out. They froze everything. This is dangerous on so many levels. So many levels, this is dangerous. I don't know what type of game they're playing. The Trump administration has temporarily paused grant loan and other financial assistance programs at the Office of Management and Budget, according to a memo by Reuters. It referenced the executive orders, including those seeking to dismantle programs related to diversity, equity, and inclusion, DEI. I don't even have to read this because this is real. It's affecting people that I love, people that are in my family, people that are providing services for the poor. You apply for a grant, they give you the grant, you get employees, and then you provide those services. So this is affecting people that are helping the poor. So now that you freeze their bank accounts, if they have cars that they got to drive, they need gas, they don't have that money. They don't have access to that money to be able to get to put gas in the car to be able to drive Miss Susie or Miss Susan across town to her bingo. There are food services that rely on this type of grant in order to provide the food services to the poor. They rely on grants. He didn't just freeze. He didn't just say, okay, any new money going out, we're going to halt for now. That's not what's happening. They're halting the money that you have in the government account. Like, there's a freeze on it, so you can't get none of that money out. So it's going to be affecting a lot of social services businesses. Man, regardless of what side you're on, who you voted for, this is not time to be pointing fingers and be laughing and saying, ha, 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 ha. See, I told you don't vote for him. That's if you care about people. If you care about people, then you will understand that Miss Susan, even though she flies a Trump flag on her yard, she's a human being that you should love, that you should care about. Regardless of who she wants to support, she's still a human being and she wants to get to bingo. Now she can't get to bingo. There are legal services, people that are in trouble, that have loans and money that the government is providing to provide legal services to certain people. Those bank accounts have been frozen, and now they don't have access to that money. This is far-reaching, very far-reaching. I mean, during the political season, I'm like, this stuff ain't gonna affect me, so I'm good. I'm chilling. But this one hit home today. This one came inside of my house. Wow. Affecting loved ones, people that I love, people that I care about. with employees and having to make payroll. This stuff is real. This is not no game. We like to play political games and, we think it's political theater, so we just, ha 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 ha, he, and all of that. It's not. Like, this stuff is serious. I mean, if you're going to give Twitter or TikTok, if you're going to give TikTok 75 days to figure out what they're going to do, man, give the poor people an option to figure out what to do. No warning, no nothing, just freeze all of the accounts and they can't get the money out. All right, well, this stuff is real. It's not just affecting Black people or Latinos. It's affecting everyone, mostly poor people, because these type of programs are going to affect poor people. I'm not the type of person where I can make fun and we can all laugh, ha ha, he, but when it comes to affecting God's people, regardless of your color, your race, or your background, that's where me as a man and as a follower of Christ, that's where I'm like, nah, man, we gotta, you know what I'm saying? Enough is enough, bro. Enough is enough. You gotta stop playing games with people's lives. And that stuff is immediate. This ain't no political games or it's gonna happen down the road. This ain't gonna affect nobody. I'm talking about bank accounts. The money has been frozen. You can't get to the money. This stuff is real. I don't play games when it comes to God's people. You're playing with fire here. You're playing with fire. Yeah, man. Wow. I hope that this is not a long-term thing. I hope that they're trying to figure something out. I don't know. First of all, I don't know that if you're trying to figure something out to help people, how you freeze their money, and then while you're trying to figure it out, give some type of warning. If you can give TikTok 75 days, bruh, give people a warning. Like, okay, 30 days. We want y'all to like do your business, but in 30 days, we're going to put a freeze on this, or at least freeze any new money. But the money that's already in the account, while you try to figure it out, man, let these businesses do their business. This is not how you deal with this. This is affecting a lot of poor people. And like I said, 68, I think the number is 73%. But it's like, I'm just trying to be conservative, right, with the numbers. I believe 68% of the United States economy or United States people are white people. And most of those people, a lot of those people, let me not say most, a lot of those people are poor people. I think Trump thinks that all white people got money. I think he thinks all white people are rich like him. If they put you in the office and you do this to them, they ain't got nowhere to look. And I know that, we talk about our politics is so divisive that our first indication is to say, especially depending on which political media you watch, it's gonna be, see, we told you so. But this is starting to affect a lot of real people, real people. Ambulatory services that relies on grants to go pick up people from the hospital or to transport poor people back and forth to their doctor's appointments. Those things are being affected. This is real stuff. This ain't no game, man. This is real stuff. Wow. All right, let's pray. Father God, in the name of Jesus, the only way I know, the only way that I know, the only thing that I have, any power that I have, is my prayer, Lord. I pray for all those poor white people, all those poor Black people, all those poor Latinos, Asians, all the poor people that are being affected by the moves of the current president, Lord. Only you know what to do. Lord God, I just pray, Lord, because We have nowhere else to turn but you. The world is getting uglier and uglier the more we go away from you, Lord. I ask that you step in. Lord, step in. Please do something. You've always been married to the poor. The rich try to take advantage of poor people. The more money they make, the more they want to take, the more they want poor people to work. 8 hours is not enough. You got to work 9 or 10. 40 hours is not enough. You got to work 45, 47 hours while they get more money. Please intervene, Lord. But this is real, God. These loans, these federal grants, and these assistance programs are going to affect a lot of poor people. So I'm asking you, Father God, to intervene. In Jesus' name, amen. Okay, let's talk football. Man. Lord. Boy, oh boy, I tell you, it's ugly out here. It's ugly out here. Let's go. What's that, Tim Smith? Is my, what's, is that Dallas is in the building? Dallas is in the house. What is Ty Smith 20? Are you impersonating Tim Smith? I don't know. I don't know who this is. Anyway, Ty Smith 20 says, it's real out here. People better get educated on these plans they're trying to implement. You're right, man. Absolutely right. Okay, so now we're going with Ty Smith 20. Are people starting to track you down? Is that why you said Dallas is in the house? What happened to Dallas in the building? Oh God! Oh, we changing from Ty Smith. Oh God! So now Dallas is in the house, not in the building no more. Oh man. He's like, hold up. There we go. Dallas is in the building. He said, hold up. Using my full name, my full government is not conducive to. Oh my gosh. This is crazy, yo. Oh, Lord have mercy, man. Yo, we need laughter, man, so that we don't cry, yo. I'm telling you, man. You better laugh or you'll end up crying, man. Whew. Lord have mercy. Does anybody care out there? Anybody cares? Is there anybody out there that cares? Wow. How did we get here? How in the world did we get here? Man. You hate Donald Trump, you hate Kamala, you hate this, you hate that, but do you love anything and anyone? Do you love the people? Man, you can hate the politics, but do you love and care about the people? God's people, my people. Do you love these people? Do you love those old white people? Do you love those young white people that don't care about what you care about? Do you? Do you love those black people? Those young and old black people that don't care about the things you care about? Do you? Do you love those Asians that don't look like you with the squinty eyes? Do you care and love them? The black people with the big old nose. Do you love them? Do you care about them? I don't feel like doing this show today, man. Who the heck cares about football when people are hurting? I most certainly don't. There's a lot going on in this world today. This stuff is getting real out here. How y'all doing, man? How y'all feeling? Y'all at work? How y'all feeling today? It's only me and Tim today. How y'all feeling out there? Are y'all good at work? Government workers, you're feeling on easy? Anybody need a prayer? I feel like I'm just gonna pray and go. Who needs a prayer? Let me pray for you so I can get up out of here. I don't feel like doing this show today. My heart is heavy. Garciano, what up, man? My heart is heavy today. People are hurting out here. This stuff is real, man. This is not a game. This is not a game at all. Real people are hurting. And a lot of them are white. If you hate white people, then I don't know how you can love God and hate white people. And if you hate black people, I don't know how you can love God and hate black people. If you hate Asians, I don't know how you can love God and hate Asians. Oh, Garciano, I'm talking about, yeah, man. I'm talking about the freeze on the I was talking about it. I thought maybe my heart would just go away easily on talking about the freeze, you know. I'm talking about this stuff right here, man. This stuff just hit home. My family member calls me and says, or, you know, in our group text, and they say, hey, man, they just put a freeze on our loans. And my family needs that money to operate their business. So the stuff that, you know, we sit back far and we kind of like, for years, like, we didn't really think politics was really that. Politics didn't really affect us like directly like that, you know. I know we're older now, or I'm older now, but politics didn't really affect us like that. But nowadays, it's like, bruh, your vote counts. Man, like, this stuff affects you. My family hit me up and like, yo, they put a freeze on the accounts. We can't get the money out. I can't log in. X, Y, and Z. This stuff is real. That's what I'm talking about, man. Y'all, man, what up? This is not a black or white situation. It's not an Asian situation. This is a situation that affects a lot of people. Oh, and it's not a poor situation either, guys. This is a situation that actually affects the rich as well. Because that ambulatory service that comes and get that rich man's nana or whoever it is that they have, that ambulatory service depends on federal loans. I'm sorry, I'm a little bit under the weather. So rich people use poor people to take them to places. And it's those poor services that needs the type of assistance. So it's not just affecting poor people, it's affecting everybody. So I want to talk football, but it's hard for me to talk football when God's people are hurting. My heart is heavy. I got some stuff to talk about, but man, this one is hitting hard. It's hitting too close to home, and it's my wife's businesses. She has clients, or she has clients that depend on some of these services, like foster care and all these other things, places, they depend on some of these services for money. If they don't have the money to operate, then those kids and those people are going to be hurting. Those families are going to be hurting. So yeah, I mean, this is serious. This is serious, serious stuff. This ain't no, man, this is not one of those things that you look at and you're like, well, it's not affecting me. It might affect you when you don't even know that it's affecting you. And a lot of for-profit companies operate a non-profit side that they usually funnel money through to operate some of their for-profit stuff. So the company you work for may have a non-profit wing that is funneling money, so your job could be affected. This is real life stuff I'm talking about. Serious business, boy. Whew. Talk about your vote counting. Wow. For all of y'all that stay home and say I ain't voting, this is part of it, yo. This is part of it. I ain't no Roland Martin, but I'm telling you, man, I got a heart for the people. All right. Anybody need a prayer out there, man? Because stuff is heavy. Should I talk some football? Let me see. What do I have for the football stuff? What's my script? Let's go through the script. Whew. Y'all good out there? Are y'all okay? Are y'all all right, people? Garciano said this is going to hurt students. It will. It will. TA says, wait till the bigger picture comes to light. Trust me, Kamala wouldn't have done better. This is people's lives we're talking about here. Kamala or President Trump or whoever it is. Man, I don't know that you're freezing. I don't know that Kamala would have froze bank accounts for loans and assistant programs. I don't think that's a thing that she was prescribing. Yeah, this is heavy. Wow, man. Where do I go from here? Like, where do I go from here? I don't want to talk about this daggone football stuff. Y'all man said, yo, y'all man, that's funny. Hold on, I mean, you put that up. Y'all man is funny, yo. Yo, I gotta do the same too, bro. He said, no lie, I took a picture of my U.S. passport and Social Security card this morning because down here in Texas is wild also. Oh, man. Yo. Oh, my goodness, yo. You might have made me go take a picture of my stuff. Like, hold on, wait a minute. Let me go ahead and take a photo of my stuff. Just in case. My wife been saying, hey, you better go file for your citizenship. You better go do this. Oh man. Oh man. So Ty Smith, do I have to call you Ty Smith now? Golly. God. Garciano's about to go take a picture. Come on, y'all, man. It ain't that bad. They got you looking through the window. Yo, even legit people are starting to get concerned, bro. The Constitution don't even matter to homie. It's like, it's been in the Constitution. Who cares? Birthright citizen gone. Like, it's been in this. Who cares about the daggone Constitution? Who cares about birthright citizenship? Let's get rid of that. He's just gonna rewrite all the rules. This is tough, man. I'm trying to laugh to really ease the heaviness that's on my heart. Because that's really what it is for me, man. When this type of stuff happens, it sits somewhere for me. It sits in a different place for me than most people, because like, I know that God's hurting. I know that God is hurting. God is married to the poor people, and when people take advantage of the poor, he hurts. And when he hurts, I hurt. Y'all need to chill. How long has Trump been in office? Don't just read one article and think that's it. Do your research. I don't have to do no research, TH. My family member hit me up this morning and said their account has been frozen. Trump froze their account. This is not no, like, I'm reporting from a real place this morning. My family, I'm not trying to say who, but my family hit me up and they said that their loan has been frozen. Not the loan, but their grant money has been frozen. Their account has been frozen. They've been trying to log into the account and they can't even log into the account to get the money, to get at the money. So this is not, that's why I'm saying this is not, I'm not far away trying to talk about something that's far away. I'm talking about the seriousness of this, like, accounts, the stuff the article that you're reading. My family is dealing directly with it. So this ain't no article. This is like real stuff. It's real. It's really, really real. Because when I was in college, I used to work for a company that would it was a company that would take poor people around to different places when I was at UNC Greensboro. And I remember taking this one white guy. I would go into his house and I would help him with whatever he needed, and then I would take him to his appointments. And one day he just called me the N-word out of the blue, because I think I told y'all this story before, if y'all don't remember. And I guess due to one of his conditions, he took something and placed it somewhere. And he forgot that he took it and placed it somewhere else. So he went back to the usual spot and he didn't see it. So he automatically thought, I guess because I'm black, I probably stole from him. And I guess he didn't really understand that I'm a Christian man. Like, I'm a different whole being. You don't understand that. Like, Christians are a whole nother different type of people. So he thought I stole from him. So I said, no, I didn't take anything. Why would I take from you? Come on, man. I'm helping you. Why would I be taking from you? So he called me the N-word. Why do I bring up this story? I bring up this story because the people that we serve don't have to agree with our politics. The people that we end up loving do not have, or that we are commissioned to love, do not have to agree with our politics. I'm commissioned to love them regardless. Tia, you are talking about something totally out of left field here. You're talking about something way out of left field. I'm not talking about all. You're dealing with politics. I'm not dealing with no politics. I'm dealing with stuff that is hurting people right now. Like, these accounts being frozen is hurting a lot of people in hospitals, people in people that are like I'm just saying, like at a certain point, you got to lay down the politics and start thinking about the people that are being affected by the politics. At a certain point, your heart got to get involved. You got to start thinking like, okay, the talking points and whose fault this is and whose fault it isn't. Like, you got to be able to like search your heart and just take that stuff, set it aside for 1 second and say, oh, my white neighbor is going to be affected by this because I know that she's an old woman and she's flying a Trump flag. We don't agree with the we don't have the same politics, but I know that she's going to be affected. I know that I see the ambulatory service that comes pick her up every day. I see that every day, and I know she's going to be affected because that ambulatory service is actually a non-profit business, small business that actually needs the money that Donald Trump just froze. So that has nothing to do with Kamala Harris. That has nothing to do with Joe Biden. It has everything to do with this right here. It sounds like you are using one aspect to devalue those who voted for Trump, Harry. Brother, brother, when are you going to like realize that I'm not talking about, I'm telling you that Trump's voters are being affected. The people who voted for Trump are being affected. I'm not talking about the guy you chose to vote for. Now I'm talking about the fact that the people that voted for him, who are mostly poor white people, are being affected by his move to block these accounts. You want to have a conversation about politics and be divisive. I'm not. I don't care about your politics. I can care less if you voted for Trump. I don't care. I don't care, bruh. That's stuff you care about. Like, you love to be divisive. Like, you stay over there, I stay over here, then we throw rocks, and then whoever gets hit first, ha 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 ha. That's not the heart of God. That's not how this works. The poor white lady that's across the street that has the Trump flag, that's flying the Trump flag, that voted for Trump, that used the little SSI money that she gets to go to Trump rallies, the ambulatory services that she's using are actually, I'm not moving on. You can move on, but you have to understand, you should understand that put away politics for a second. Jesus came to put away the politics. When the Pharisees, all they were about doing politics with what God had told them to do. So it was all about politics. So at which point do you start worrying and caring about the people that is affecting the politics? I'm trying to understand it. Kamala Harris is not in office. She didn't pause any kind of assistant programs. Why are we even talking about Kamala Harris right now? That's politics. That's you wanting to be on message. I'm not denigrating anybody that voted for anybody. I'm saying the people that voted for him are being affected. He's affecting those people. Most of them are poor people. Most of those people are poor people. Those are the people I care about. Black, whites, Latino, whoever. Those are the people that I care about. Harry, it's perfectly understand you are not dealing in reality. If you think politics will make it right and better for every citizen. Unfortunately, and I say fortunately, I think that's exactly why Jesus came. Jesus came to disrupt your reality. Jesus came to disrupt your logic. He came to disrupt things that made you feel like you were right. He came to set the captives free, and I think you need to be set free. absolutely need to be set free by your way of thinking. The people are hurting, and we're playing politics. Jesus is not a politician, absolutely, but nobody understood politics more than he did, and that's what he came, and he started turning tables over and letting people know, hey, this is not the way it's supposed to be done. The politicians are supposed to work for the people that put them in office. Once you stop doing that and you start doing the work of the people that have the most money, that's where we go wrong. That's where we go wrong. Stop playing politics and start worrying about people. Think about the poor people for 1 second. I keep giving you the example of the poor lady across the street that's flying the Trump flag that needs that ambulatory service to take her to her appointments. That's a Trump voter. I didn't call her no names. I said she needs help because that ambulatory service is a service that uses grant money. And if you pause that grant money, then that ambulatory service may not be able to afford the gas to put into that truck, that van, to be able to come pick her up. That's a Trump voter. So I'm not saying anything negative about Trump voters. I'm just saying literally, like, his voters need help, just like everybody else. And I don't know, I don't understand why you can't understand that, TH. That's sad. It's really, really sad that you can't get to that point where it still has to be politics. Well, all right, man. So Trump should make it right for all his voters. When has a politician ever done that? Make what right? What are you not understanding, TH? Make what do you mean make it right? Make what right? Like, what about this conversation that I'm having right now that is going over your head? Let me slow it down for you. Make what right? Let me just talk to you for a second, TH. Maybe God wanted me to touch this topic to talk to you for some odd reason. Maybe. But make what right? Let's have a conversation, TH. Why don't you call into the show for the first time? Just come on here. Let's talk. Maybe we need a dialogue. Maybe that'll help. Not disrespecting each other, talking over each other, calling each other names. None of that. You know I don't do that. I don't do that. I respect your opinions. But make what right? Let me put this back up so that you can see. Maybe the topic is not. I don't know what am I saying that is when you say make it right for everyone. What are you talking about? White House pauses federal grant loan and other assistance programs. Let that sink in. And I'm telling you that the pausing, right, of the grant loans is freezing the accounts. I got text message in my family group text message that they paused the accounts where the monies have been deposited in those accounts. When you pause those accounts and you cannot get to the money, the small little businesses that rely on the money, when you pause the accounts and these businesses cannot get at the money, it's going to affect the day-to-day operations of the small businesses that rely on the money. So when you're saying you want Trump to fix it all for all his voters, I'm not talking about that. I ain't talking about meeting all the wishes of all your voters. I'm saying, why not let's do a more of a common sense approach. Because if you were somebody that ever worked in the private sector, you ever worked in where we are, where down here with where the humans live, you will understand that some businesses, they are day to day, hand to mouth, gas money, food money. They got employees out in the field money every single day. That type of stuff is happening every day. Now you freeze that account. What happens if we use a common sense approach and say, okay, we're going to give you a 30-day, just like you give TikTok 75 days to figure out what they're going to do before you shut them down? What if we gave small businesses a heads up? Hey guys, this is coming. We're going to be shutting this down, or we give you time for you to try to figure some things out, because we're going to have to rein this spending in to try to figure out what's the best approach that going forward to help the U.S. economy better. Because most of these programs that they're shutting down are programs for poor people. So a common sense approach would be better than just saying, okay, we're just going to freeze all of these accounts and none of y'all can have access to this money. So I don't understand how I'm missing something or how this can go over somebody's head. This is real stuff. It happened. It happened to my family member. Hit me up this morning and says, oh my goodness, they froze the account. I cannot get into my account. I don't have access to the money that they gave us for this program. So I don't know where I'm missing it or where people are missing it. This is real. This ain't got nothing to do with discouraging or disparaging anybody's voters. It's about the people. So that's the idea. And we got to start worrying about the people and not the politicians. Because, man, the sides are, everybody's side is just like, oh my gosh, don't talk about Trump. Oh my God, don't talk about this person. Who cares? It's about the people now. The voting is over. Now we're dealing with the actual implementation of the things you voted for, and they're now happening in real time. So now we got to start worrying about the people. God said, he said, give Caesar what is Caesar's. When you have money, Erica A says, when you have money and no issues, you don't care when grants and loans stop. You want to play semantics when you think it'll never hurt you. Let's highlight that. This is very important. Thank you for saying that, Erica. Very important stuff to understand. That's why I don't know if people don't think about grants the way that I'm thinking about it. Like, when you are in the small business world like I'm in and my families are in, there are aspects of your business that is probably going to be dealing with some type of grant. Or let's say this, if you are a for-profit, you have a client that is a nonprofit. That nonprofit is using grant money to pay the for-profit. Sometimes it's all within house. Business technique, your for-profit, your nonprofit funds, your for-profit, all within the same house. It's just as real as like your next breath. It's very, very real stuff. I don't know that you can pay for tariffs with grant money. I think he's trying to give Elon and whoever he got. I know they got rid of Vivek. He's trying to give that Doge, that Department of Efficiency. He's trying to give that department people stuff to do. But there has to be a common sense way to do this. I don't know that he understands how important this is. Like, it's only a person that does not understand this stuff would do something like this. Only a person that is so far removed would do something this disruptive. This is disruptive. This is like, if you want to get somebody's attention, type disruptive. Like, oh, wait, you just froze all of our accounts like we're some drug dealers? Oh, you got our attention. Raising your hand like, oh, you got us. God's people are hurting, man. And if you don't understand what I'm talking about, I get it. I understand it. It's totally understandable. Because maybe God is scrambling what I'm saying in your ears as a parable so that you don't understand it. And only the people that need to understand it will hear it. So, but this is real. Y'all been saying, I think TH works for ICE on the show trying to fetch. Hey, I'm in New York. Our governor and our people already know what time it is. If you come up in our schools, we're not letting that happen. New York is like, we on edge. New York is on edge right now. I hope y'all don't mind me talking about this, man. I appreciate it. We'll talk football on Friday. Today, I just want to just stay right here. I don't care about football today. I don't care. This stuff is important. Hey, who's affected by this? Can y'all let me know? Is anybody in the chat affected by this? Like I am? Like, I'm directly affected by this. Is anybody else affected? Stardust, yes. This is yes. Are you saying federal grants are paused? Yes. Yes, that's what I'm saying. And I'm not reading just an article. This is affecting my family. This is affecting my family. Like my family member just got a text message. Well, sent me a text message and said that her accounts has been frozen. So yeah, this is real. This is not it's not a thing that's just kind of like it's out there. This is real. So if you're being affected by this, I don't know what the solutions are. Hold on. Does this article even provide any solutions? I never thought about that. Let me see. If you're affected, are there any solutions? What can you do? You see right there where it says the suspension goes into effect on January 28th at 5 p.m. No. The suspension has already happened. According to the memo, no, the suspension happened already. My family is on the East Coast. And their accounts has already been frozen. So it's not no 5 p.m. It has already happened. Yeah, Stardust DNA. Yep. So, and the funny thing is that my family member Their grants, like it just happened days ago. And the pause comes today. So Stardust, you run a nonprofit. Yeah. Yeah. This is going to affect a lot of small businesses that rely on those grants. Like right now, if your money is in that other account, I know this because I'm obviously, like I said, my family, right? If your money is in that other account and you didn't move it over, then you don't have access to that money. Okay? If you didn't, I'm trying not to give too much details, right? If your money's in that other account and you did not move it over to the real account, then you don't have access to the money. That you can't even log into that account. Okay? So yeah, it's real. I don't know about small businesses crashing, because if you are a small business and you crash, then you are a bad manager of money. That's just how it works. If you are a small business and you crash because of a temporary freeze, then you're not a good manager of that business and you're not a good business person. That's just how it goes sometimes. Because as a business person, or even a family budget, right? Not that I'm not saying I'm righteous or anything like that. I'm just like you. If you are a family and you have a budget, you're supposed to have a rainy day fund. And people say at least 6 months. I don't know what the number is for small businesses, but I'm sure if it's 6 months for families, then it's got to be some bigger number for small businesses. You need to have at least maybe a year or two money set aside somewhere, so that if a pandemic like the COVID-19 pandemic or something happens, then you need to be able to be operable, right? Is that the word? Operable or whatever, right? You need to be able to be in production while you try to figure things out. So if you go down right away, then my friend, then you're not a good business person. That's not a good thing for you. So yeah, I mean, and you know, I understand the other side too, right? Because while that may sound, what's the word? I'm over here talking like I'm not in a real situation. While that may sound poignant, most small businesses are hand to mouth. And I ain't talking small business. I'm talking about micro. Like, you're not even considered a small business. You're just not. You're like tiny. Because some small business could be operating close to millions of dollars in budget. But I'm talking about like a little tiny little business, right? With like a few employees or just you. So some of those businesses are just hand to mouth, and they can't save up 2 years, 6 months, let alone a year or two in funding, right? Because they're using half of their money for their family to feed their families, you know, and barely could pay their employees. That's usually how it goes. All right, so Star, what you saying? My impact isn't in existing funds, but the new grants released at the new year. But I will be applying for my rainy day fund isn't deep enough because I don't clear it enough yet. Of course, yeah. That's usually what it is for most people. Most people are not there, like their rainy day funds are not like it's not big at all. If you have any at all, because the way it usually works in like little micro, small, tiny businesses, you know, mom and pop shop and stuff like that, the way that it usually works is like you're literally hand to mouth, just like your own personal business, your own personal budget. You're hand to mouth. Sometimes you have to move money from the business to buy groceries. Like, stuff is real out here. You know, you have to move money. Like, payday's coming up, and you got to make payroll. But you look around and you're like, "Yo, honey, what we gonna eat tonight?" And everybody's looking around like, "What are you talking about?" I ain't got it. So what you gonna do? You're gonna have you're looking at money sitting right there. You know you gotta make that payroll, but you're looking at money sitting right there in that account. What you gonna do? You're gonna move a little bit of that money over, go to Gala, whatever you have. Giants, Win Dixies, right, and go buy groceries, and then you'll have to worry about payday. When payday comes, you'll worry about that when it comes, but you're gonna eat. That's one thing you're gonna do. You're gonna eat. This is Business 101 today. I don't feel like talking about football, and I appreciate y'all for actually being here and helping me to have this conversation, because my heart is heavy. I'm not trying to talk football today. I don't care. I know I got the thumbnail and people coming here for football, but I don't care. Star said, I'm the person you just explained. Star, I was literally talking about myself. Yeah. This is like literally my story. You know what I'm saying? You got small businesses. That's how it works for people. For like, I know we call this small business and whatnot, but not all small businesses are equal. Yeah, God help us both, please, Lord. If you're a Christian, man, and you start, you understand that, your time is coming. You just got to keep working. You keep working and you keep putting in that time. You know that change is on its way. But yeah, the conversation about these loans, I just pray and I hope that because with every loan, anytime they do something like this, trust and believe. Lawyers are going to go and they're gonna rush the Supreme Court. I'm not a lawyer, so I don't know what the level of hierarchy it is. Appeals court, or anyways, they're gonna rush to a judge to try to stop the injunction. I think I'm trying to remember all of my political stuff, because I used to watch CNN on repeat every day. So what they do is, somebody correct me if I'm wrong. So this, whatever he enacts goes into law, or goes and they try to implement it, and then the lawyers on the other side, they rush to try to stop it. Let me just put it in general terms so you can understand. So they rush to try to stop it, and then a judge who is at the right level would then grant a temporary halt on whatever action. I'm sorry, guys. I'm a little bit under the weather. So a judge may grant like 30 days, 50, 60 days, and try to get both sides to work out something. You feel me? So maybe that's going to happen, because this just happened. And like I said, if TikTok can have some grace, then what about the people that voted for you? What about the neighbor that's outside flying the Trump flags, but she still need her ambulatory service to go to bingo, or to go see her doctor, and the person that's driving that truck or that van is not a Trump supporter, but still has to do it with grace and love, and still care about her, even though she's wearing her Trump shirt. That's how we live out here, guys. That's how we live out here. Your pastor, the people that work next door to you, that live next door to you, could be Trump supporters, but you don't stop loving them because of who they voted for. That's not how it works. Excuse me one second. That's not how this works. So like, because I've worked into the social services arena for so long, that I understand this from a very, very personal perspective. It's very personal. When this stuff happens, man, my heart gets so heavy that I don't know. Sometimes it makes it hard for me to even think about how is it that they're allowed to do certain things. There's no way that hopefully the lawyers are really on this. Hopefully, like maybe if you go to CNN or somebody, they're reporting that lawyers are gonna go file whatever lawsuit, injunction, or whatever they need to file to make this stuff go away for a little bit, so that companies can get their money or have access to their money. Because believe you me, like some people are smart and they move their money over. I don't think others are were as fortunate to move their money over. Hopefully, a lot of y'all out there, if this is affecting you, you were smart enough to move your money over. Now, I pray to God that if you move your money over, they don't go after your personal account, because it's traceable money. So hopefully the injunction or whatever they're enacting, hopefully that that freeze does not go over to the actual personal accounts. Because if that's the case, then yeah, there's going to be a lot of chaos. There's going to be some real chaos, because you wake up in the morning, you go to work. All right. And it's Tuesday. In a couple of days, it's going to be payday. What you going to do if the money's frozen? You're not going to do nothing. You can't do anything. The money's frozen. So yeah, this is stuff that we got to deal with. Pray for your neighbors, yo. Especially the one with the Trump flag on it. The one that you hate the most. That agitation, I guarantee you, that agitation was put into your life for a very specific reason. Because of something you need to work on. You think you're just going to pray for rain and there's not going to be no mud? Y'all sleeping. Anytime you have agitation in your life, start thinking about what you pray for. And then keep a prayer journal. Things you started praying for. Go back to that journal and start reading. I pray for a husband. I pray for a wife. I'm praying for a new car. I'm praying for X, Y. I'm praying for my kids to do better in school. I'm praying for my child to to be accepted at their favorite university. And then start thinking about, and then start looking at the different agitations in your life, or things that are pricking your spirit, things that are just messing with you. Then you be like, yo, you'll be able to, like, this will be a way for you to understand who God is and how he moves. I guarantee you. I know it's not Sunday. This is a free sermon for y'all. If you want to see how God speaks, start keeping a prayer journal. I don't do it, by the way. I'm not trying to be self-righteous. I don't do it, but I do understand it. Keep a prayer journal. Think about the things that you've been praying for, so that you can have a reference. Oh, I've been praying for all of these things. And then you will start realizing each thing that you're praying for, in order for it to come to pass, there's something that has to either leave or be added to your life. When I say leave, like, if you're praying for a husband, then there's certain things that have to leave your life. Right? I'm laughing, but it's not funny. You can't be praying for a husband and be moving a certain way. And for the men, you can't be praying for a wife and you're moving like a pimp, or you're moving like a certain way. Like, certain things have to leave your life and certain things have to enter. That's how you tell. So all the agitations that's happening is for some growth a growth area in your life. On this channel, I have a lot of agitations, and I'm grateful for them. There's a lot of agitators on my channel. I'm so grateful for them, because I know that there are areas on on this channel, for my growth to happen, I need that agitation. So while I'm agitated, and it's so frustrating that I have those agitators, I'm like, thank you, God. Thank you, God, for my agitation. Thank you for my agitators. Because those agitators are going to help you to grow, are going to help you to get to a certain place in your journey. That's just how it works. Coelito says, well, yes, we come to agitate and stimulate. Pause. Are you an agitator, Coelito? I don't see you agitating a lot. Maybe you do. I don't know, but I don't call everybody an agitator. DC said, Harry's right. Don't pray for baby oil get bad when you slip and fuck. Come on, DC. What in the world, dude? What in the ditty? This will proportionally affect predominantly non-white students. It's the non-white have excelled since 1960s and don't have to reverse. Garciano, why are you trying to sound all deep? And this will proportionally affect predominantly all white. Why are you trying to sound all sophisticated on me here? It's the non-white proportion. This will proportionally affect predominantly non-white students. Yo, let me say something to y'all. I know, because everything is always on racial lines. When you have a bigger aspect or a bigger part of the population, you do understand that a big percentage of them are going to suffer just like you. So if we have 13% black people in America, let's do the math a little bit, because the math has to be mathing. The math has to math. I think I'm middle class. I don't know if I'm upper or lower. Sometimes it feels like I'm at the bottom of the middle class, but I think I'm middle class. All right, just because of the amenities that I have, like kids in private school, being a landlord, X, Y, and Z, right? I think I'm middle class. It don't feel like it, but I think I am, okay? Y'all let me know if you think that's middle class. All right, I have a car that's barely working, so I think I'm there. All right. But you got 13% of Americans that are black Americans, or blacks make up 13% of the American economy. Out of that 13%, it's not the entire 13% that is poor, even though people would like to think so. It's not the entire 13% that is poor, okay? Because if I was poor, I would not be able to afford an elaborate studio with all this expensive equipment. Okay, it's not that expensive, because I don't want nobody to run up on me, okay? You run up on me, I might have to call DC. And if you know what his latest tour is, trust me, you don't want to mess with DC right now. But if you run up on me, I might have to call DC on y'all. All right, that's my guy right now. DC, get ready. Anybody run up on me, I'm calling you. Anyway, so yeah, the whole 13% are not poor, right? So I would say out of that 13% of Americans, of black Americans that are poor, I would give you 5 to maybe 7% that are just downright poor. All right. DC's latest toy is baby oil. Yo, y'all are messing with this whole Diddy thing. Wait, you're taking it too far. So if I don't know if that number is too high, y'all let me know. But I'll give you 5 to 7% out of that 13%. That's a pretty big number. 13 minus 7 is that's a big number, bro. That's math is like getting out of hand. 13 minus 7. Dang. Yo, that's more than 50%. Woo! That's close to 50%, bro. If there's 13% black people and 7% are poor, yo, that's That's close to 50%. That's a lot. Nah, I gotta lower that number. I'm gonna stick with 3 to 5%. All right, let's go to 3 to 5%. Sheesh. Woo. Wee. Yeah, that's a big number. Wow. Okay. So yeah, okay. So you would take about 3 to 5% of blacks are poor. Let's take the number to white people. 68 to 73%. What percentage of those people do you think are poor? Is it 3%, 3 to 5%, or is it more? You got to put things in a perspective. Do you think that there are more poor white people than black people? Absolutely, according to the math. That's how percentages work. You got 68% of these people. All of them are not rich and they don't have money. So if we only got 3 to 5% black people that are poor, the white percentage that is poor is probably like, if they're 68 something, they're probably in like the 10 to 15 or more percent. So if you look at that, there's a lot more poor white people than there are poor black people. Even though the math, or even though in the economy or how things work, we think, oh my gosh, all black people are poor. No, we're not. We are not all poor, okay? So when we look at things, it's easy to just say, oh, who are the downtrodden? Who are the people that people do make fun of the most? Yeah, I mean, our race is probably taking the grunt of all of that. But our percentage, the numbers don't add up to what they're feeling. So you got to start thinking about who's really being affected by this. The people that are really being affected by this are not black people. I know y'all think like that's it. The numbers, oh yeah, all black people are gonna be poor. Oh my gosh. No, it's not us. It's not us, bruh. Okay, so start this at 17% of blacks and 8% of white Americans are below the poverty line. %17 of blacks and 8%. Is that the real number? Blacks make up 13% of the U.S. Yeah, blacks make up 13% of the U.S. economy. Wait. So hold up. White Americans are about 68%, 67 to 73% within that range of the United States economy. You're telling me that only 8% of them are below the poverty line? That don't make sense. Is that real? Is that a real number? There's no way. Where they do that at? There is no way. 21% of African Americans live under the poverty line. Only, are y'all serious with that 8.4%? I don't know, bro. I don't know. The numbers got to be bigger, bro. Out of 68%, 68 to 74 or 73% ish, right? You're telling me. Let me bring DC on to help me out here. DC, what's up, man? Thank you for coming to the show, man. How you doing today, brother?
I'm doing pretty good, brother. How about you?
All is well, man. All is well. Is this number right?
What's that number about the poverty line?
Yeah. Is it really 8% to? Because if there's 68 to 74% white people in the U.S. economy, only 8% of them are below the poverty line.
I'm looking at up, and it does say 8.2%.
Bro, we gotta do something about that. What the heck? How they do that?
Well, but where is it being African American 17.9%?
Bruh. Yo,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
But see, check this out. One of the things that I would say sometimes happens with things like this, we have a tendency to look at it from outwardly with telescopes, microscopes, and binoculars. But you got to get in that mirror too and look at some things that we do, and that there is a system that has stuff. But then, how are we contributors to our own self-sabotage? And so, for example, if your literacy rate has a ton of stuff to do with things such as, wealth, incarceration rates, all of that kind of stuff. So I think that's where we have to have those conversations. And the thing is, I would say, is the great thing about this administration is that it definitely, while we can point fingers, it holds the mirror up against for ourselves. Like, you're right. That people are saying, let's boycott something, or we see what happened today, but nobody's talking about, hey, how can I can build a system? Because folks, here's the reality. If you are always the consumer and the worker, and you never become the investor and the employer, there's always going to be a ceiling for you. There ain't no way around it.
Bro, I'm stuck on how low.
And that's a true number. I know, man. Them numbers don't lie. You like, no, the data ain't good on this one.
It's not, yo. The data is messed up, bro. What? I'm stunned with those numbers. You would think at a higher percentage, having the highest percentage, no wonder these people go vote. No wonder they always get out to vote, no matter who's there. Good grief.
And see, I think what happens with us sometimes is that we try to create. All right, DC's getting on the soapbox for a second. We try to create this coalition of colors and minorities and economic and stuff. And guess what, folks? The only person that shows up to that door is us. It ain't always the same, because most people will look out. This is a society all over the world. You've seen in Africa, most communities, they look out for themselves. And you can't expect somebody that's an Asian in San Francisco to look out for the brother in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. It don't work that way. It'd be nice. It all sounds good. It sounds great political talk, but that ain't the way the world works. So it's to a point where, and a lot of our stuff is based on, unfortunately, we're working class. So how do we stop that? How do we change that?
Bro, let's roll this back, bro. Slow down.
Roll it back. Come on.
You're going too deep into this. Like, wait a minute. Slow down, bro. The math ain't mathing for me, bro.
It's not.
I know they have these terminologies like the systemic racism and the redlining and everything, but you would think it wouldn't go as far or make the numbers as low as 8%. They are taking care of each other, and we are being left out.
Harry, I had somebody contact me that had 10 jobs, apprenticeships for plumbing, 10%, and it was all paid. They didn't have to pay a dime. They just showed up. They'd be paid at the apprenticeship rate. It's pretty high. And then afterwards, they would be able to go ahead and make money. Do you know how many people told me my son ain't finna be cleaning up no plumbing, and my son not finna be sitting up here, and I ain't finna be. You know how many times I heard that? I'm like, do y'all not realize this is a 6-figure job, especially if you get industrial certified? But a lot of us will not do something. I'm gonna tell you right now, they will. And you know what I mean when I say that? They will go and do the welding. They will go and do some of those things. And then so when you do that, and especially with overtime, you step above the poverty rate.
Bro, let me tell you something. When I see construction workers, I see almost all white people. Bro, I barely see anyone black in construction. And I know watching gangster movies and watching all of these white gangster movies, there are certain union jobs that they protect for their people because they know that they're going to pay a certain amount, like garbage people and all of that. There are certain jobs that they protect for their people. The numbers that are being affected, the way that the numbers are moving, bro, it's blowing my mind for me to even uncover this stuff.
But hold on 1 second, because I'm gonna break another one for you. If y'all look down, and when I say this, Harry, you're gonna get it. When y'all look into the future, not no crystal ball, but when you look and you see how AI and automation is taking over stuff, that number is gonna get worse. Because I've been screaming it to people, like when I go out and mentor, I said, if we don't get into AI programming, advanced robotics and stuff like that, and then of course I hate to say this, but part of the the immigration things, folks got to be real to not understand why we want to be compassionate. And for the abuelas that come and pick peaches, you got to understand that impacts us a lot more than what you think. So all these jobs and some of the manual labor and the things that we used to do, once that stuff starts going away and you see that number, it ain't good.
I'm stunned right now. I'm thinking like, just in passing, just like, oh yeah, I mean, they got 68%. It should just be like at least over 10% of their population should be below the poverty line. No, it's single digits. Yo, they're doing something right. When do they have their meetings? I want to show up. When do white people have their annual meetings?
Man, I done sat in there and I've sat in some meetings. I'm here to sit here and tell you. I've sat on like state meetings for like commerce, jobs, all kind of stuff. And ICH, appreciate that, bro. Yeah, we agree on something. Man, the stuff I have seen, I keep saying to folks, we gotta be serious. And that's why, like, when all this stuff, y'all won't hear me do a whole bunch about complaining about what Trump does or things like that, because at the end of the day is we sit you that the for me the numbers don't lie. Harry, you're a data guy, and even sitting here we are thinking things, but when you go look at, because facts feelings ain't facts. Something is wrong here. How do we fix it? And here it is. That number is when we've had the DEI programs. So how is that making any sense? Was it really working for you or not?
No, but Roland Martin and other pundits that are astute on this topic, they were saying that white people were benefiting more from the DEI programs than any other group. White women, actually, to be specific, white women were more beneficial to DEI programs than any other group.
Right. And so for me, that's why I don't agree with the clustering of the rainbows and stuff like that, because my experience as an African-American male is different than the experience of, let's say, someone of an Asian male or female. Mm-hmm. So when you try to cluster things together, you're not looking at it. It's that, and that's the one thing you'll always hear me. And I think we've talked about it, is that when it comes to voting, I understand we have a tendency to vote more Democrat, but the way that we do it, we give up valuable leverage, because the past cycle was ran on fear and we're not him versus a platform on resources and doing things. And unfortunately, when you do it this way, you put all your eggs into one basket, and now them baskets kicking over, and folks will go, oh my God. Well, at the end of the day there's got to be, you know how they use that word, reimagining. There's got to be a way that we begin to move a lot different, because these numbers are getting worse.
Bruh, the poverty line is $15,060 according to Stardust DNA.
It is. Now, of course, that's an average. I mean, cost of living in some areas like New York and San Francisco, that should be adjusted, but that generally is it. So you're sitting up here going, how does somebody
living with $15,000?
Bro, you're not really living with 15,000. Now, hold on. If I'm
In
living
the
in
U.S., I mean, people in Africa, obviously, but
right,
in the U.S.,
if I'm living in a 25-year-old trailer in the foothills of North Carolina and I grow my food and my got chickens and all that kind of stuff, I can do it with that.
I doubt it. No, you can't.
You can you're barely put it like
Yeah,
this.
because
Well,
you got to
put
think about all of the expenses that come with all of that.
man, but some of them, Harry, all I would say is that, like, when you talk about being broke, my dad took me on a train ride on us because he was a big steam engine guy when he was growing up kid. So he took me on a steam engine ride from Birmingham, Alabama, and we went through Tennessee. And that was the first time I really saw where there's extreme poverty on that side, but nobody talks about it. They got houses that don't even have electricity in it. It's lanterns and wooden stoves. So they can make it on 15,000, unfortunately. But then there are public assistance they wind up getting. But we used to live, I mean, if you saw the house my mother grew up in, who wound up, eventually getting out of poverty and getting a doctor from Northwestern, that blew my mind every time. Wasn't no electricity. It was an outhouse.
Oh, I'm sorry, Tim. Let me bring Tim on. Tim's trying to join as well. But man, these conversations are what's important to me, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can talk Colorado later. You know what I'm saying? Like, these conversations, we need to have more of these type of conversations. $15,000 in the U.S.
Yes.
$15,000, bro. Think about those poor people that are living with $15,000.
You got a bunch of them, but they call it the black belt from from Selma all the way to the Mississippi line. Man, ain't hardly nothing out there, and the poverty is extreme. The education is not there. Now, understand, back in the day, those were a lot of plantation areas, but there's not a lot of factories or things like that. So if you have areas that don't have commerce and it doesn't have interstate and it doesn't have that stuff, you're not gonna have the jobs. You're having jobs like no shade, but like Dollar General, Dollar Tree, stuff like that, versus jobs that have pensions. Well, not pensions, because those are kind of going away, but jobs that actually have 401ks that you can increase, that profit sharing, that kind of stuff. A lot of us are not going towards those type of jobs.
Well,
and check this out. If you are on Social Security,
Dairy Queen.
right, and watch this. If you're right, and if you are on Social Security, you can only you can't make above the poverty line, or they'll take the benefits.
Oh yeah, I know a lot about that. I certainly know about that, man. Because growing up with my mom, boy, I know how I know how it was. Let's welcome Tim to the show. Tim, what's up, man? Thank you for calling in. I appreciate you, brother. You might have to unmute, Tim, whenever you're ready.
He's choking on the. We thought you was choking on the Popeyes biscuit. It took you so long to talk.
My bad. It was my area that I was in.
Man, yo, this is heavy today. I said, man, no football today. I don't care. I don't care about no football today. This is. Well, let me ask you. The whole freezing of these accounts. What is your thoughts on it? Let me get Tim to give me your thoughts on this whole freezing of this account. This is real now. This is not outside news. The only reason why I touched on this stuff is because my sister hit me up. All right. And she was like, yo, they froze my account.
Right.
That's the reason why I'm touching on it. Other than that, I'll probably the people keep Harry B leave the politics and stuff, but it's real. And it's not just affecting poor black people, it's affecting poor Trump supporters as well. Let me get your thoughts, man.
I mean, you've been spot on, man. You and DC. I understood what you was talking about earlier on in the show about those people who voted for them. Now a lot of them are sitting back like, how can you do this to me? They're being affected by his decision makings, but the lack of knowledge, if you're not willing to research or read when they was holding up that Project 2025, he's stating a lot of stuff that he wanted to implement in there. But if you didn't take the time to read and research upon yourself and how that's going to benefit you versus affect you, then I look at it as shame on you. But he's putting those things in place. I feel like because he only see one thing. He don't see middle class to me. He see rich or poor. There's no such thing in his view as middle class. So
DC,
What's up?
what's the play here? Is this more about government efficiency? Is this more about Doge? Or is there a different play here? Maybe in my mind, it's not really leaning on that. I want to have somebody who's not either one way, right? But somebody who kind of like is central like yourself. Tell me, what's the play in this?
I think they're freezing it to take a look at some things. You know, I have to caution people that don't have a tendency to always look at a move as it has a sinister or malicious intent, that there may be something behind that. We just don't know what it is, because they do a horrible job messaging. I'm just telling you now. And y'all know that. You see it. Like, to even come out with this, why not have even give people a 10-day grace period, Harry? That's that. I have an issue with that, because you know it's going to impact. But I think they might be looking at it from an efficiency standpoint. I think they may be taking a look at removing some of the things that, because he done kicked out so many executive orders, and sometimes you have to pause until you are in compliance, because if you start spending government funds and you're not in compliance with the regulation, you can wind up being held accountable, if not for some of the money, if not all, because of fiscal law stuff. And that stuff, I've had to deal with it, and it ain't no joke. You can spend something wrong or out the wrong pot of money, or when you couldn't, you spend it, you could be held liable. And in some cases, it could be criminally liable.
So you saying DC, based off of his first term and all the HE double hockey stick that he had to deal with after he got out of office, you feel like he's strategically trying to make sure it doesn't put him in that same predicament?
Well, here's the thing about it with him. I think he's put out some things, and for whatever reason. And I think, you know, let's take away what we feel about him for just a second. When those executive orders come out, you have to be in compliance. So if you are spending money erroneously, you can be held liable. So I think there may have been a pause to ensure that that everything was in compliance with the new executive orders. The thing we have a problem with now is that he doesn't have to run for re-election. So he can pretty much do whatever he wants, because he's not trying to maintain a centrist approach due to, hey, I might be getting reelected. But the thing I'm going to say, Tim, is that I heard people say 2025. I heard people say all those stuff. And I was screaming at them. I said, okay, if you believe that, then what have you done to prepare? Because my thing, I always say this, don't scream and tell me there's a war coming and you don't even have one bullet. Because I don't believe you, because you're saying it, but you ain't prepared for what it is that you say that was coming. Now we see these things and people are saying, well, you see X, Y, and Z. Well, how did you prepare?
And see, what I was talking about, like the lack of educating yourself. And we talked about that poverty. This is one reason why we're at that line, is because we have a tendency of not educating ourselves, but take the word of everything that comes on TV.
Yeah, depending on who our favorite channels are, we listen to them amping us up.
Exactly.
And I think it's time out for all that amping us up, trying to divide us, because if you pander to your specific group, then you're going to get them amped up and going and while they're missing pertinent information, while they're missing vital information. that can help them to make better decisions.
Right. And then unfortunately, many of the news outlets, they play on your confirmation biases. So you're already believing certain things, and then it pushes you. And I've been sitting here, another thing I've been sitting here saying with people saying boycotts and stuff, I'm saying, I'm just going to tell you right now, as a student of conflict and warfare for over 20 years, when you have unorganized boycotts, it often leads to chaos that spills into the street. So that's why I'm telling folks, I got how you feel, but you need to be very measured in how you respond to it. Because if you don't, you will wind up having, think about the fire. Like, let's use it.
DC,
go ahead. What's up?
Y'all might be talking about something the government don't like. Because they're shutting this stuff down.
Man.
My screen just did a whole weird thing and everything went off.
Hey, yo, I'm just sitting here telling people what you try to use other type of language. I'm just going to sit here and say to folks, listen, if you are concerned, you need to take whatever item that it is on a list that you have concerns about, and then you must backwards plan so that you can mitigate it. You'll never mitigate most of the stuff completely, but you need to start preparing. Hey, what do I need to look out for?
DC, when is this survival channel coming? Are you gonna do this? I'm sorry to oust you like that, but come on, like when is this? When is this channel coming?
I'm gonna kick some stuff off, man. It's just that I'm waiting for the complete release, but because I care about I do care about my people. I do care that how we process it, because sometimes.
Hey, don't do it if you're not ready, though.
Well, no, right. I'm not.
The one thing is about. It's about consistency. So don't do it if you know you're not going to consistently provide information for that channel for people that come, looking for it.
But Harry, let me keep it a buck. When I started talking about this, and I'll tell you how I got into it, not just being military, but when Obama won, I heard so many people on the right saying all kind of stuff. So me and my thing, I say, you know what? I see folks arguing with them. I'm going to go engage them. So I would go engage, have conversations, all kind of stuff. I'd ask them questions. Some of them didn't want to answer. Some of them did. But but I found a lot. And then the other part, I found out how many of them are preppers. That's why I hear people say things, and I got to be careful how I say it. But when they say about advancing, let's just call it like that, I'm like, these folks are able to, when you are able to make your own, when you're able to make those things,
make your own pium-piums.
When you're able to make the pium-pium and then the stuff that goes into it, you're not going to beat them. 14% can't beat 60%. It's not going to happen. You don't have the numbers. But as far as prepping, I found people in my community, they look at me like I'm crazy when I go, hey, why don't you go in there and get a couple of those non-perishable? What the heck is non-perishable? How about you go and get some of those cans of chicken, like next to the tuna, get a bunch of those, get some oats, get some stuff like that, and then make sure you have lights around your perimeter. Do you know what?
Yeah, like dry stuff that's not gonna perish, that you need fridge, that you need to be refrigerated. Right?
Yeah, then folks will look at me. Oh, I ain't worried about all that. Jesus got me. I said, Jesus got me too.
Hey, DC. Me and my brother had a conversation about that yesterday, and off the show, me and you have talked about, family history and stuff. So me and him, he was just telling me that the other day. He was like, man, you may want to do this, you may want to do that. And I was like, yeah, you're right, bro. You may
Wait,
be
you
right.
ain't start yet, Tim?
Huh?
You ain't start yet?
Oh, no, I'm always stocked up.
Oh, okay. I'm about to say,
because
somebody put the word out. I don't know when, but my wife, she was like, "Oh, the basement's starting to fill up."
Yeah, I'll be stocked, bro, at all time, even when it ain't nothing going on, because I just want to be prepared. So
I hope we're not going over the people's heads, because right now I don't know we said what we're talking about.
Well, like I'll give you an example. There's an egg shortage due to avian flu.
Yep.
But if $8 for like 12 eggs, bro.
Dude, but guess what? Your boy got powdered eggs. Folks don't like that. Don't understand that, but it's like, hey, you might want to take a look at a couple of them buckets that have that, so you can maintain, because eggs are always a good source of protein. And protein, put it like this, protein in a survival environment or lack of consistent sustenance, that is your friend. That and water. In carbs, so you can get those big things of oatmeal or grits. If you don't have that, bro, I listen to folks all day. Tell me, man, you don't know what you're talking about. I say, I sure don't. So give me your address, so when stuff hits the fan, I can come take your food.
Exactly. Hey, DC, and they got
I'm so
those. Hey, DC, they also had those things where you can get like creek water to purify your water, purify water bags.
Oh yeah, yeah. Those are important too.
I got quite a few of those. What you can do is, here's how it go. You can take those water bottles.
This is the birth of DC's channel that he's going to be starting soon about survival. Okay,
I'm gonna transition soon, but just check this out. If y'all use those little 16.9 ounce bottle water, and then you scoop it up into like a stream or something like that, then you can get some on Amazon that you can screw on the top, and then you can get fresh water. Now understand the difference between viral, bacterial, and toxins. So you got to be mindful of that type of stuff. But at the end of the day, is you can get things that will filter the water a little bit. Because let's say people don't think about a cyber attack, they think about power, but they don't think about it can affect your sewage and water treatment. So then you never seen those places after like a hurricane or a tornado or something, and they have a boil order that's in there. You got to boil the water because there's always a certain amount. But anyway, we can transition back to that 8% hair whenever you want to. I just always share that thing, especially with people like me. Hey, look, you have to be prepared. Times are changing. I'm sure the people in California never thought some of the things that would happen. The people in Tennessee never thought a hurricane would come up there. Well, some people never thought you would get 8 inches of snow in freaking Louisiana. Yeah, in New Orleans. So you got to be ready for stuff like that.
I mean, bro, that the conversation just leading to itself. That's all. I don't have a topic. I wanted to talk football, but then when that stuff came up, and I was just like, look, man, my heart is too heavy to be talking. You know how I do. When my heart gets too heavy, man, I ain't talking no football.
Hey, let me ask y'all this.
Yeah.
Why is it, because y'all touched on it a little bit, but why is it that because I look at things as I follow the money. I always got a plan A, B, C, and D. And
wow.
E plan.
I don't even have a plan B. I think I got a plan A and a half, but I don't know about playing like a whole B plan, let alone E plan. What the heck? What's the E plan?
But like, you know, when Obama came into office, he was talking about trying to get minorities into technology. You know, he was pushing that heavily. Why is it that we seem to shy away from it when it's used so much on a day-to-day basis? Now that they're coming out with something I read yesterday called, I think it's called DeepSeek, DEEP. They saying it's better than Google. That AI, DeepSeek AI.
I've heard that. Who was talking about? Was that Joe Rogan? Somebody was just talking about DeepSeek.
Yeah, so
I heard the phrase before, but but Tim, you bring up. Let's try to remember what you just said. But you bring up a good point where us as parents, or I'll say let's go to the Black community real quick. We don't tell our kids what to study, but you notice how Asians tell their kids what to go into. And
facts.
We're just like, oh, you know, just find yourself, find what makes you happy, you know.
But Harry, check this out. We live in a world now where they have tricked us into scanning our own groceries and never changed the price, and we didn't do anything about it.
Oh, that's a good one, because you had to pay the person that did that. So that means that you're raising the price because you had to employ somebody to do that. Now that you no longer have that employee and I'm doing it, you no longer have that cost that's associated with that, but you did not extend that cost to me. Stop playing with me, DC.
You said stop playing with me.
What? How come nobody said that?
I said it, but folks are sitting up there going crazy. So I sometimes when it's saying it's like, no, I'm going to this register where it's a person. You're gonna scan my groceries if I'm gonna come in here and pay for it, And then here go the other thing.
God.
They added more registers and it's still a line and you scanning your food. And we said nothing.
Oh my gosh, that is such a aha moment. Oh
really
my
is.
goodness. Oh my goodness, that is so true. How do you come up with this stuff? Oh my goodness. No wonder you retired at 50 something.
Hey, DC, now you got some stores like Sam's, you can go in there and scan everything and don't even touch a register.
See, right. So, for example, I told folks this. They were saying about like fair wages. Like I'm working at McDonald's, and people will argue with me. And I said they were saying they need to pay me a fair wage. I said, don't worry, they will take away your job. And guess what? We now take our own order for our food, and then they just give it to us.
That's
but
so
the price
annoying.
Ain't changed, right? So now they may give you some. Now, if you're wise, you get the app so that you can get points and stuff back on you, but a lot of times people don't. But here's the thing: the question was asked, what can you do? I'm a huge thing of building communities and consider growing your groceries. Not all of it. You might not be able to do all of it, but you can do a little bit of it. I mean, any house could have a tomato plant, and tomatoes are expensive as all get out. So that's one of those things you can take your power back is for tomatoes.
Tomatoes are overrated. What do you make? Okay, besides salads and stuff, what do you put tomatoes in?
Oh, Harry, tomatoes can do a ton of stuff. Tomato sauce, right? Don't you? You can make your own ketchup.
Yeah,
Don't you do it?
Forgot about tomato sauce. Nope.
Right.
Forget about okay, leave that question alone.
He said, leave that question.
I wasn't thinking about the sauce. Yo, okay, DC. Let's not just list a bunch of problems. Stardust DNA says we are aware, but what do we do? We're helpless. What can we do about that? Is there anything that consumers can do? Who do we complain to? Consumer reports, or who? Is there somebody we go to say, hey, price gouging going on? Is there a price gouging police somewhere that we can flag down and say, hey, listen, they no longer have to pay the employees, and the reasons why they made the meat a little bit more expensive, but they got rid of the employee, but the meat is still the same price, and let alone they're going up also. Who do we go to?
Well, do you want the uncomfortable truth?
Quinn Leader said the local rep. Go ahead, DC. Who?
They're not going to change it as long as you keep buying it.
Oh, come on.
But what you can do is begin to... Folks, I hate to say this to you, but how do you come into office? Let's say you take an office and you're making maybe 80 or 90,000, and then you come out of 10 years later, you're a millionaire in office. I'm gonna leave that there. One thing I'm going to say is that folks have got to start you got to move from consumer to investor. You certainly have to do that. And then I think that you have to look for other ways to do it. I mean, the food supply, it is what it is. You don't really have much of a choice. And that's why I listen to people a lot they're saying things, and it's like some stuff you're just going to have to eat. But as far as you may not go to those stores. You may find other stores that I don't want to start giving names or anything like that, but you may find stores where you can get cheaper prices. And they're out there. That's what you have to look for. But unfortunately, folks, we have gone way down this road too far as that you can't turn this. You can't turn this battleship around, unfortunately. But you can decide where you buy.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of bulk stores like the BJ's, your other stores that have, that sell in bulk, and you can find things cheaper there.
I always buy in bulk. I never buy a single little 6-pack of paper towels. I buy the biggest one I can get, biggest one of tissue. I generally buy the big things of ketchup because my family is a ketchup family. But I've been learning how to make it, learning how to make bread, stuff like that.
What? So I grew up learning how to make a lot of things because back home we had to. We didn't have a choice. You didn't have a grocery store to go to all the time. So you had to make things. We learned how to make soap. We learned how to make bricks. Like, the bricks that you built your house with. I know how to make bricks, and I know how to make, a lot of things. I've long forgotten how to make those things, but it's still in my DNA. It's like riding a bike, right? You do it one time. I mean, you've done it so much that as soon as you pick it up, you'll remember. So I know how to make soap. I even know how to make wine. I know how to make wine from the tree. What is the name? What is the sweet plant? I can't believe I just forgot. Anyways, this stuff that you're talking about is like it's starting to come closer and closer. And
Can I share one thing? Can I share one thing to you, Harry? Real quick. Okay. Here go the other thing that is. But
sugar cane. That's what I was looking for. Sugar cane.
Yo, Harry, you could take them big jugs of grape juice that we use for communion, and you take that and pour that in with some yeast and some sugar and a couple other things and let it sit for 5 weeks and then strain it out. That's straight Mad Dog 2020. That you made. But you can make your own stuff.
Like those hillbillies, man. I'm telling you.
I'm just telling y'all what it is. That's how you can make it. But here's the thing, man. Have you the reason why I say what I say, Harry, ultimately is, and we don't have to go down that road, but all it is a set up a system where you can neither buy nor sell unless you take a mark. You know where I'm going. So that's where this is going to go. And the book has told us this is what it's going to be. So you need to be planning to maybe take more as you can, depending upon the system as you can.
This is heavy stuff, man. This is survival of the fittest, and stuff is coming to a head. And the poor people always are the ones that get trampled on when things start to crumble. It's always the poor people, because the poor people, that's why the Bible said the poor stay poor and the rich get richer. Because when you're rich, you're always thinking about how you can get more. When you poor, you barely trying to do research. You just living hand to mouth. So you're not even trying to get out of your poverty by trying to upgrade yourself. Like Tim said, try to do research and try to educate yourself to get out of your poverty. So the poor are always going to be down there. Oh, give me a little bit. While the rich, they got rich doing something. And then they realize, oh, if I can do 10% production this year and get $3.5 million, what if I increase the production? Then I can increase my money. So it's like they're always trying to find new ways to reinvent whatever they're doing and to try to get more. So the rich, that's just one of my little revelations for why the rich get richer and the poor get poor. That's one of them. I have a lot of those, but that's just one of them that just hit me. Yeah, go ahead.
And then also, like the rich, man, they don't let their money just sit. If they're gonna go to work every day, they're gonna let their money go to work every day, just like them. So billionaires say, money doesn't just sit; it gets bored. That's their logic of thinking. And Warren Buffett said it best: if you have to rely on one source of income to survive in today's society, you're
behind.
You're destined for doom. Yep. Yeah. You'll fall into that poor category if you're not willing to have multiple strands of income coming in somewhere. Everybody has some type of tool,
right?
That somebody else is a consumer out there for it. I'll put it to you like that.
Yeah. I think people get stuck in overthinking. People get stuck in overthinking, like, hey, I'll say take one from the videos that you watch every day. I'm sure somewhere in your, if not today, it's going to happen today, but somewhere on your timeline, You see some videos from old people that are in poor countries, and if for some odd reason they're all in the market selling something, right? Whether it's one person selling water that they froze and took it to the market to go sell it, another person is selling peanuts, you know what I'm saying, for people that are walking around in the market that are going to get hungry. Another person is selling potato chips. Like, when you're in an environment like the US and everything is going so well, we forget to think outside of the box and to think about our, just the normal things that people would do if you didn't have anything. What would you do if today everything ended and you couldn't do anything? I think people suffer from overthinking. Don't overthink it. There's something right in front of you that you know you can do.
But I think what also happens to us is that we don't have wise conversations. We have emotional conversations, and we tend to be more so on optics rather than outcome. I'm going to use the conversation of I don't do 50-50. And I love those because I get to light people up with them when they say,
what do you mean? Like, explain that. What do you mean I don't do 50-50?
So when the relationship space is out there, folks will say, man, I'm not doing 50-50 with no man.
I don't go Dutch.
Okay. So I sit back and say, I always say that, okay, that sounds great. I said, because believing a man is provider. I do believe it's a man that's provider, but I, as a man, want to be able to provide for you financially. But if I don't have money, I still have the ability to go and do things that are providing. I can go out there and fish, hunt, all that good stuff and build shelter. So that's part of it. But here's the thing I always say.
Not if you're dating G.I. Jane. Take your hunt with you.
Right. See, right. You're right. So here's the thing I say, okay. I say, so you want a man to pay all your bills. And this is not a gender thing. It's an example of money. Okay. So I say, okay, so you want a man to pay all your bills. I said, all right. So that means that everything that you have, that means if something happens to you, he's going to now be responsible for all your bills. I always ask this, and here's one thing that can build generational wealth. Within 3 generations, you can change a whole lot in the Black community. But just as a whole, I always ask, okay, do you have burial and life insurance? Well, I don't. Okay, so right there, you're sitting here saying something, and you don't. And the human race has 100% death rate. So you don't even have enough money that you gonna die, and then folks are gonna try to scrape up and have a fish fry and GoFundMe to put you in the ground. So you left them with heartache and debt. Don't come talking to me about what you think people need to do when you haven't taken care of that. The next thing I always ask is, how much credit debt do you have? How do you have a well-funded, or are you funding your 401k or at least a retirement account? I'm asking you, most people get cars and instantly they're upside down on the car note. I can go on. They don't have college fund for kids, or at least don't have a plan. Like you do.
Are you reading my life? What are you doing here? What are you doing right now? Why does the hair on the back of my neck standing up while you're talking here? What's going on?
Bro, no shade, and understand these are conversations we don't have in our communities.
God, I feel shame.
Right. But you're doing something else. You're already having the college conversations early. Most people wait until junior year, and by then it's too late, because it may be a situation where you might have to save and send your kid to a junior college to get the prerequisite down, and then send them to the university or bigger university to do the last 2 years. All right. But anyway, the thing that I realize is that what we're doing is we're not setting ourselves up for legacy wealth. We're not setting up. Ladies, I hate to tell you this, I'm from a biblical standpoint, but marriage is for legacy. There's a reason why the genealogy in the Bible, there's whole books for that. It's not so much about love and all kind of the love boat. It's about legacy. But legacy also means.
Are you kidding?
Well, I mean, you're gonna get that too. But I'm saying to you, you're gonna get that. But at the end of the day, is that I want to curl up like Abraham or Jacob did. I don't want to be sitting out here leaving people dead. Here's the point I'm ultimately making, is that relationally we waste a lot of money. When I hear people say they go on all these trips, I always challenge them. I say, you taking 20 or 30 days out a year, you're not just go spend money versus invest. Here's the point, folks, is that yes, marriage is a way in our community that we build wealth. Investing is a way that we build wealth. And if you don't keep that debt, if your goal is to get rid of as much debt as you can as soon as possible, then once you're around 55, 60, you can start doing some of these things. But right now, we're trying to have it all. Now I'm finna spend it. Don't be watching my pockets. Then they be broke.
Yeah. Man.
No.
Hey, DC. Hey,
Go
let me
ahead.
throw this on top of what you saying, because you spot on, brother. I'll just sit back listening because you spot on. But not only that, learning how to leverage your money, how to use other people's money. You don't necessarily got to use your money, but if you put your credit in the right position, then you'll be able to do so.
I use 0% credit cards all the time to do stuff.
I do the same thing. And I use other folks' money if I want to do something or fund a business. I do so because I got 2 of them. I use other people's money. I'm not going to use my money.
Nope. And check this out, Tim. It's taking care of what you have. I have had two cars that I got over 300,000 miles on it, and the one I'm driving in right now, it's got over 230,000. I have a 2003 Mustang GT with 130 miles on it. Now y'all are saying, "Man, that's an old car," stuff like that. Because I take care of the crap up. I hate car notes. I freaking despise car notes because
2003. Good
yeah,
Lord.
but guess
Might as
what?
well have a 1998 Cadillac.
but I'm gonna tell you why I have that. Okay, Harry. 1, it was cheap. It's paid for. And 2, if there was an EMP to go off, most of these modern cars that have too many microprocessors and boards, and it would fry that. Whereas my older car, I can keep going. So that's my safe car, and it's a stick, so people don't know how to drive sticks, so nobody can steal it.
They'll be like, "Dang, I can't go nowhere. I can't, bro. Get up out of here. Let's run. Let's go on foot. But let's get up out of here, man. I gotta go. I got a hard out at 1:20, so I gotta go, man. Look, I love these conversations. I started that other channel for this, but it's a little quiet over there when I do it. But I'm glad to have these conversations, man. These are really, really good conversations. These are rich conversations, and I really appreciate it, man. So DC, final thoughts. Tim Smith, final thoughts. Let's go. DC, go first.
I think I've said enough. Great show,
man. You for sure. You give us a whole two hours worth. I mean, you give us a whole 2 days worth of material that we can go off of. All right, Tim. Final thoughts. Let's get up out of here.
Great show, Harry, man. You touched on a lot of things. It's a lot of stuff to really be touched up on. But I see some of the comments. Somebody said home ownership is a way for generational wealth. That's true.
Yeah.
But how do you pay it off faster? So you won't have all that debt. And then having an understanding of when you are buying a home, you're actually buying a home for yourself and you're buying a home for the bank. Once you look at the bottom line. But there's ways that you can pay it off faster too, as well. So you eliminate a lot of that debt. But that's another conversation for another day. But great show, Harry. Thanks for having me on.
Hey man, thank y'all for coming on. I really appreciate it. I appreciate y'all watching the last video I put up. I mean, as it stands, I guess I didn't have to talk football today because that video is doing pretty well. So I mean, I'm grateful for that. So I can just take my time and talk and have this conversation. But yeah, man, thank y'all for chilling out with me and having this conversation. I know it was a little tough today. I try to get into a football spirit, but the football spirit was not happening. So I'm glad we had a conversation though. So DC and Smith, thank you for and Tim Smith, thank you for joining me. Everybody in the chat, TH, Stardust, Quinlito, Yardman, Swansley, my guy Swansley is still around. My goodness, been around since day one. Wow. Everybody that's in the chat, Polymyth, appreciate y'all, man. Y'all have a great evening, and I'll see y'all on Friday. All right, guys.
Definitely appreciate it. Hey, Harry, real quick.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
The person that said about payments every 2 weeks, that is true. But I just want to look into a HELOC loan, which is a home equity loan. But you got to have discipline with it. There's a bunch of them out there, but just look into it.
Got it. All right, well, you got it. I'm telling you, man, these conversations every now and then, they kind of spark the spirit, spark some people. If it gets one person, if what DC and what Tim Smith were all saying, if this sparks, somebody thinking and somebody doing something about their situation, shaming me into, creating something for my future, then it's worth it. I'll take the L for, whatever lack of views that I get. I'll take that L any day to help my people. So y'all have a wonderful day, man. I'll see y'all next time.
You fellas too. Peace.
All right. Take care.
Peace.